Alice casually swung her sword but unexpectedly plunged it right into the ancestor's chest. She was shocked, thinking he was faking it, but the ancestor thought it wasn't deep enough. He grabbed the spirit sword and pushed it 2 more centimeters into himself. Alice was nearly scared to tears. She had no idea what crazy thing he was up to now. Just yesterday, the ancestor had personally taught her the art of killing. His special treatment of her made her think he had feelings for her. Little did she know it was only because of her unique constitution. She could suppress the raging spirit fire within him. That's why the ancestor kept her alive. When she realized he just saw her as a walking air conditioner, Alice actually felt relieved. She'd been terrified he might have other intentions. She wouldn't even have been able to resist if that happened. What she didn't know was, the ancestor was treating her as a pawn in his game. That very night, the ancestor attempted to break the seal. Turns out he hadn't been in seclusion here for 500 years. He'd been sealed here for 500 years. Alice saw strange lights in the sky and thought it was just a colorful sunset. So she hurried outside to watch, but after looking at it for just a moment, she instantly felt dizzy and couldn't breathe. That's when she realized this wasn't some evening glow. It was a celestial formation being activated. When Black Snake confirmed it was the ancestor's doing, she finally understood that the ancestor had been sealed here for 500 years. Now that she knew he was sealed here, Alice thought of a way to get on his good side, so she asked Black Snake to take her to him. But to her surprise, she found the ancestor taking a bath. She accidentally fell into the pool and discovered the scars left on his body from when he was sealed. Alice's sudden arrival put the ancestor on guard, so he immediately cast a truth spell on her. The ancestor asked why she had come. To his surprise, Alice had actually noticed something was troubling him and wanted to see if she could cheer him up. That's when she suddenly thought of something that might make the ancestor happier. Her idea was to use the cultivation power the ancestor had given her to make it snow to help him cool off. The ancestor called it childish, but deep down he was touched, and this gesture would later become the reason he saved her life. The next evening, Alice was drawing a portrait of Black Snake when 2 female cultivators suddenly barged in. Without a word, they attacked and restrained Alice. Black Snake quickly ran to the ancestor for help, but the ancestor had no intention of getting involved. Meanwhile, Alice was facing a life or death crisis. These 2 had learned that Alice was favored by the ancestor. They were afraid she'd get what they were after, so they decided to kill her. At the critical moment, the ancestor arrived and saved Alice. The reason he stepped in was because of the snow Alice had made for him the day before. It had begun to thaw his heart that had been frozen for 500 years. The ancestor furiously demanded to know how they dared cause trouble here. The 2 disciples begged for mercy, claiming Alice had just joined the sect and might be up to no good, while they had sincerely come to serve the ancestor. The ancestor had no patience for their nonsense. He cast the truth spell on one of them. She then confessed her true intentions in full detail. She wanted to become the ancestor's concubine and bear a child with the Sima bloodline. Once the Sima clan had a new heir, they could trap and kill the dangerous ancestor and steal his spirit fire. Then their star palace could take over Gengchen Immortal Palace, and she would become the next princess. The ancestor found them pathetic. They had no idea that the ancestral bloodline might only appear once in 10,000 years, and he had already merged with the spirit fire. If he died, all of Gengchen Immortal Palace would be destroyed. For 500 years, the 8 sects had tried the same tricks. The ancestor was sick of it. He disposed of them without a second thought. The other female cultivator who'd been eavesdropping met the same fate. Everything the ancestor did was in preparation for the full moon night. Soon, the full moon night arrived. The 8 sects sent several elders to test the ancestor. They'd heard the full moon was when the ancestor was at his weakest and came to confirm it. After the battle, though the elders were defeated, the ancestor was also badly wounded. But then, surprisingly, the ancestor asked Alice to kill him.
动手！